Okay, so the topics are here. So we have the ORAN trials and deployment, and then the Open Run OTIC. So I'll also introduce to you what is an OTIC, um, Open Run, and then Open the ORAN Alliance, no? So nagano pala tong ano. Okay, so three topics only: the ORAN Alliance, the ORAN trials and deployment around the world, and the Open Run OTIC. Sino yung mga OTICs na yan? And then I'll show you some sample, no, coming from one of the um, research facility that we have visited in the US. So I just got some update on the slides. Okay. All right. So let's have first an understanding of Open Run. So this slide you always see this, no. So just a comparison of Open Run and traditional run. So this is coming from Deloitte. So this is just a good comparison between the two. So for traditional run, so you have the what we so called cell site. So you always see this every day in your daily lives, even in different areas, so especially here in the Philippines. Usually you can see antennas, the remote radio unit, okay, antennas, remote radio unit, and CPRI or interface, a proprietary interface. And then this is connected to the baseband unit. So the baseband unit acts as like a CPU of a computer. Okay. Now, in terms of Open Run, so now this is a new approach of implementing a radio access network. So when we say radio access network, typically it's also known as cell site. And then cell sites or radio access network gives us the mobile coverage. And the mobile coverage might be different to each other depending on the generation. There is a 2G, 3G, 4G, or 5G. But the implementation of wireless technology from the likes of 2G, 3G, 4G, or 5G, you can implement as well using traditional RAN like this. And in this era, most of the operators or some of the operators are now exploring implementing LTE and 5G using Open RAN because of the different benefit, no, that they can get in this new philosophy of implementing a radio access network. So typical, if you will look at an Open RAN deployment, a typical scenario, uh, it's very difficult to decipher if it's an Open RAN or a traditional RAN, especially if you're new in the telecom industry. Because you will also see the same antenna unit, almost similar radio unit, and the baseband unit is just like a small servers, just like a commercial off-the-shelf servers, a typical Dell server. That's something like a baseband unit as well. Okay, so you will see here what happened in terms of the physical components. The baseband unit has been separated between DU and the CU. So this is the one that Sir Carlos mentioned that is based from the 3GPP standard. Because the 3GPP standard has when 5G was launched, it has three distinctive use cases, like for example EMBB, massive machine type communications, and URLLC. So those are the three main use cases. So those three main use cases have different categories or requirements, meaning you need to have a flexible architecture for you to be able to deliver those three use cases. And one way of having a split architecture is split the components itself. Okay, so that's what happened to the BBU. It was split into the distributed unit and the centralized unit. Okay, so in terms of the protocols, so there's another session about it, how the protocols are divided into each units, no, from the centralized unit to the distributed unit. And one thing that is also evident is the presence of a new controller. It's a RAN intelligent controller. We already saw the presence of a controller way back in the age of 2G, in the GSM era and the UMTS or 3G era. The controllers are named as, for example, in 2G, it's base station controller. And for 3G, it was the radio network controller. And then in the era of 4G, they removed the physical controller, they embed it inside the eNode B. And then right now in the era of Open RAN, they are getting it back, no? But now it is powered by artificial intelligence / machine learning. Okay. Okay. So Open RAN has following benefits. Okay. Has a following benefits. First, you will have diverse vendor ecosystem, and then new innovation models and lower total cost of ownership in the long run. Currently, right now, most of the studies or some of the studies, you will see that Open RAN is still expensive. That is no, that is quite understandable, especially if the production cost is still less. That's why the ORAN Alliance, the TIP, are encouraging or aggressively promoting the deployment of Open RAN, because once the deployment of Open RAN becomes widely spread, so the production cost will become lower. So and in total, the total cost of ownership will become low. Although there are some challenges, network performance, fault management, network automation, and understanding the Open RAN ecosystem. As you can see, there will be a lot of players, and each player will have a different part, no, in the ecosystem of Open RAN. So the Open RAN engineer or those personnel that will be involved in the technology needs to understand the different components of this ecosystem, and also the new team profiles. As we always say in here in Asia Open Academy, the Open RAN is the integration of different skill sets. It's an integration of telecom skill set and IT skill set, no, or computer system skill set. So it's a good opportunity for us. Like for example, if you're an ECE, or if you're a computer engineering or IT, so you have a place in Open RAN. So if you're ECE without knowledge in computer engineering or networking, so it's time for you to upgrade your skill set. And if you are computer engineering and you want to go to Open RAN, you need to learn some of telecommunications or the ECE subjects. Okay, so we all have an opportunity when this Open RAN system, especially come here in the Philippines now. So when you look at the current setup or sample setup of an Open RAN system, it looks like this, no? So this is the architecture, okay? So all of the orchestration, automation, RAN intelligent controller, you will just see this inside these boxes because these are software, okay? If you look at the hardware, so you have the CU. The CU is here, the centralized unit. Okay, it's a typical server, like a Dell server, no? And then the DU, the distributed unit, this one is in this part. In this part, the remote radio unit are here, and the antennas are same like this. See here, and sometimes like this. Okay. So these are the components. And actually, you can see in this architecture, you can also see the protocols that are being subdivided into different hardware components. For example, in the CU, you will see the radio resource control, the packet data convergence control protocol, okay, the radio link control protocol in the DU, and the medium access control also in the DU, and the physical layer. You know? Yan. So these what are the compositions of each protocol, kung saan yung makikita yung mga protocols. Okay. So dahil because of the because of the different components and freedom of doing or implementing Open RAN, there must be a governing body that should cover all of this, that should guide all of those players, so that we have a harmonious ecosystem, right? Because if we do not have this kind of governing body, magkakanya-kanya na naman yan. So Japan could have a different system, and then US could have a different system. So that's the beauty, no, of a governing body like 3GPP. For example, in the 3GPP, if a new technology like 5G will be released, so all of the countries that will adopt, or all of the operators that will adopt the technology, for example in 5G, they will follow the 3GPP guidelines. So all the specifications, okay, all the parameters are based on 3GPP. Okay, minimum, at the minimum. So if there are operators or vendors that would like to have more than the specifications of 3GPP, it's better. But at least in the minimum, you will comply with the standards of 3GPP. That's why it's a good opportunity pa rin for students, for young professionals to study 5G here in the Philippines. Why is it like that? No? Because uh, the same 5G technology that we are implementing here in the Philippines, like the ones implemented by Dito, by Smart, by Globe, these are the same 5G technology that is implemented in the US, in Japan, and in Korea, or in South Korea, and in other parts of the world. So meaning if you learn 5G here in the Philippines, and we don't know, no, if you will go abroad one day, and then um, find some opportunities abroad and in telecommunications 5G, it's a good thing because the 5G that we have here is the same as the 5G that you will encounter abroad. Okay. So same thing as well. If we learn Open RAN here in the Philippines, okay, so the same Open RAN system will be implemented in the US, in Japan, in the South Korea, and in other parts of the world. Okay, so that's the beauty of having a guideline or a governing body on a technology. So whenever you go, you carry your skills with you. Okay, so you learn the skills today here in the Philippines. So kahit sa ka pumunta, no? So you carry your skills and then you just maximize whatever you can get out of your skill set. Okay? So let's go to Oran Alliance as mentioned by Sir Carlo, no? So who is Oran Alliance, no? So Oran Alliance is a group of telecommunication companies. So they aim to improve the performance and openness of their network. They don't want to have this kind of black box concept, no? So when we say black box concept is that when you buy it to the operate when you buy it to a certain vendor, you don't know what's happening inside. You can just see the parameters, but you don't know what's been transmitted to other servers, or what are the hard coded um, systems, no, na inside the equipment, inside the software. So they want to have an openness in their network. So they also called for more intelligence because as the technology becomes updated, it becomes more complicated. Okay. For example, in the 2G, we're just handling calls and SMS. Now it comes 3G. There are different data. Okay. So downloads, uploads. And then for 4G and 5G, we have a lot of setup. So if you will learn 5G, we have a different configurations. We have the different options. There are option 2, there's option 4, there are option 7, option 5. So we have a different configurations of 5G. And we also have different frequencies of 5G. And we also have different antenna systems for 5G, like massive MIMO, like 8x8 MIMO, like 4x4 MIMO. We have different modulations. We have different quality of service. So the system becomes more complicated. So sometimes it's very difficult, especially if even though you are summa cum laude, from your from your top university, or if you're a top notcher in the recent board exam, you will find it very complicated, and most of them are really they are overwhelmed about the complexity of the network, and sometimes we need to have a more intelligent system to handle it so that you can enjoy your life being an engineer, right? You can it's not more on taking the complicated task, no? Sometimes you just need to become more to become more relaxed, because um an intelligent system is handling, some of those complexities. Okay, that's why in the Open Run, you will hear that the artificial intelligence and machine learnings are applied, no, uh, in this new philosophy of implementing a radio access network. Okay, so I'll show you some video coming from the Oran Alliance so that you can have more idea, no, who is Oran Alliance.
Transforming radio access networks to be open, intelligent, virtualized, and fully interoperable is not a far-off vision. The ORAN Alliance has made this vision real. Since 2018, the adoption of the ORAN Alliance by the industry has been incredible. It has grown to a worldwide community of operators, vendors, and research and academic institutions jointly developing a sustainable ORAN ecosystem. Through expanding traditional mobile networks, the ORAN Alliance has created its ORAN architecture to become a foundation for truly open and intelligent radio access networks. The ORAN architecture improves the RAN in several areas. First, the ORAN architecture supports disaggregation of software from the hardware and network virtualization. Underlying open reference design hardware and the OCloud provide a high-performing and scalable computation layer. Second, the ORAN architecture is based on well-defined open interfaces to enable a multi-vendor interoperable supply chain ecosystem. Third, the ORAN architecture empowers mobile networks through artificial intelligence and machine learning. ORAN networks can self-optimize to ensure the best possible service for the end customers, and automated operations and maintenance enable more efficient network rollout and operations. Defining the complex ORAN architecture is a step-by-step process, resulting in hundreds of technical documents. To ensure compatibility and to avoid duplication of work, the ORAN specification effort builds on common standards and cares about alignment with other industry bodies. ORAN specifications serve as a basis for open software reference design. The ORAN software community hosts developers brought in by many ORAN players, cooperating on tens of software projects. ORAN specifications in open software are enabling a broad industry ecosystem. Companies of different sizes and competencies can use them to create their innovative and competitive open solutions. In addition to specifications, ORAN Alliance supports the ecosystem in testing and integration. ORAN Global Plugfests allow companies to demonstrate component functionality as well as multi-vendor interoperability. Moreover, the open testing and integration centers around the world will offer a collaborative and impartial testing environment. ORAN supports implementations using open source modules, proprietary modules, or any combination. Operators and suppliers can create different paths and approaches to implementing ORAN, optimized for their specific network and customer needs. The rapidly emerging ORAN ecosystem has enabled service providers on multiple continents to start field trials and commercial deployments, aiming to build significant parts of their networks based on ORAN technology. Open, intelligent, virtualized, and fully interoperable, ORAN-powered mobile networks will soon be serving billions of people around the world. The ORAN Alliance.
Yeah, no. So that is the ORAN Alliance. Now, if you are in front of your PC or laptop, or you have an access to internet, so you can visit, no, the ORAN Alliance website. That is www.o-ran.org. Okay. So just to learn more about this ORAN Alliance. Actually, you can learn Open Run. So when I started learning Open Run, I just browsed the ORAN Alliance website, and then from this website, there's a lot of information already, so that you can learn more about Open Run. So for example, let's try to browse. No? I'll help you browse this website. So this is the website of ORAN Alliance. So you will see the map. Okay. So if you want to get more updated on the maps or deployments of Open Run, so you can see here the different deployment, the testings, the field trial, the commercial and the pre-commercial. Okay. You can also see the plug fest. So when you talk about plug fest, it's just a simple For example, you have a dog, no? So if you want to breed a dog, so bring your dog here, and then I'll bring my dog here, and then let's see if they're compatible to each other. Okay. Same thing, no, with the plug fest, no. So one vendor will bring his component or software or hardware in that event, and then okay, I'll bring my software also, and then my hardware, and then let's see, let's try if they can work, no. So once it's working, they prove that it's working, so they could commercialize it, no, or can start to sell it because they have proven that it's working already. Okay, but before that, there's a lot of no, no, there's a lot of badging and certification needed, no, so that operators can adapt to their solution. Okay, so that is the plug fest. And then we also have this OTIC. No? So let's just say, no. So if you will see the plug fest, so these are the different plug fest that's happening around the world. And then if you will look at the OTIC, okay, OTIC means the Open Test and Integration Center. So these are the centers that gives certifications and badging for your software and hardware and the solutions for Open Run. So there's a lot of OTIC. The nearest uh, in the Philippines, I think it's in Singapore. Okay, in Singapore, this one, or in Taiwan. So there's a Taiwan already, no, OTIC in Taiwan and Taipei. Okay, so what we have seen so far is the OTIC in Singapore, in Japan, and in US. Yeah, so we have seen the all different OTIC. So I'll show you later on the OTIC in the Northeastern University. Okay. So you will see here. No? So for example, you want to see the commercial launch. No? Yeah. So in Japan, if you will go to Japan, so you want to go to Japan, and after strolling around there, so if you want to find a job there, so KDDI already launched Open Run. Rakuten is the biggest so far in the deployment of Open Run, and they are also first in the world not to deploy Open Run. So that is Rakuten Mobile, and then NTT Docomo. If you saw the news with Smart, they are the ones partnering with Smart here in the Philippines, NTT Docomo. Okay, and yeah, no, so it's a good perspective. So if you're looking at different opportunities of Open Run, you will see if we're starting here in the Philippines, you will see that there's a lot of companies, operators, and players around the world already looking at Open Run, and some of them already deployed. In the US, it's um, here in the US, it's Dish. Okay, so Dish is also a full Open Run system. They already deployed 5G using Open Run, so that their main um, office is in Denver, Colorado, I think. Okay, so there's already sorry, commercial pala, no? So commercial, no? So this is in the US, and then some of them are doing some testings. Okay, yeah. Okay, so these are the different locations, no, of field testing, field trials, deployment, pre-commercial launch, and commercial launch. Okay, so because there's a bus that in the deployment of or development of 6G, it will sit on top of a Open Run system. So although it's not yet finalized, but they're looking at an Open Run system that will be that will be used in 6G. So that's why if we are studying Open Run, so you can see that the path that you're looking right now is towards the future has ano no, has a direction, no. So meron kang pupuntahan, especially if you're looking at wireless telecommunications. Okay, so that is the um deployments and testings around the world. Now, if you're looking, if you are concerned about which company that can support my career, no, in Open Run. So just look at the, for example, who we are, no. you will see the different members here. So you can see the list of ORAN member companies. If you look at this page, you will see the operator members. Okay, 1&1, 4G. So these are the operators. Okay, operator members. So in China, both all three major companies are there: the China Mobile, China Telecom, China Unicom, Dish in the US, okay, Telefonica, KDDI, NTT Docomo, Orange, okay, Singtel also there. So if you're looking at some opportunities in Singtel and about Open RAN, so they are also involved in the Oran Alliance. So you will see the different companies, no, that are interested and looking into Open RAN. SoftBank as well, and Telefonica, Vodafone. So these are the different companies. Now, if you're looking at the operators or academic contributors, no, so these are the different contributors aside from the operators. So these are the operators, and then these are the contributors. You will see familiar names here, familiar brands like Accenture. Okay, so you will be amazed that Accenture is also investing in Open RAN, no, because they're already part of the Oran Alliance. Cuver, one of the test tools that in parallel with the Times investigation and the NEMO. Okay. Airspan is also here. And Amdocs, okay, for the integrations. Amphenol for antenna solutions, analog devices. So, okay, so if you're in the electronics industry, so if you will be also, you are also affected because the devices, the microchips that will be used in Open RAN radio units, DU, CU, okay, servers will be produced by microelectronics companies like this. Anritsu is also included. Yeah, interestingly, Apple is also here. Okay. If you hear the word, if you already hear the news about the Apple Intelligence, so they are also using artificial intelligence using ChatGPT. But aside from that, in terms of networks, okay, so Apple is very interested in Open RAN. Who else? Who else? Let's AWS. Okay, so if you're very much emerged now in AWS ecosystem, so it's a good thing, right? Because in terms of the core network, cloud computing, edge computing, AWS will be part of that ecosystem. Bicell also here, Broadcom, Cable Labs, Capgemini, okay, Cisco, yeah, Cisco is here, Comba, Comscope. So there's a lot of companies, including Dell, especially their servers. Okay, Ericsson is here, Fujitsu, especially for the radio units. Fujitsu are here. So, but when we visited Fujitsu, they also have an end-to-end system. Okay, so it's not only on the radio system. They also have the end-to-end solution for Open RAN. So Fujitsu might be one of the top players here in the Open RAN. Google Cloud is also here. Okay. So if you see a lot of brands or companies here as an technology enthusiast or an ECE fresh grad or professional, what you will see is not only brands, you will see opportunities, right? You will see a lot of opportunities. Okay, so Matrix is also here. Okay. So these are the different entities engaged in Oran Alliance. So the Oran Alliance is really huge already. Okay. Now if you will see, for example, if you want to learn about in-depth details about Open RAN, like specifications, different technologies that will be incorporated in Open RAN. So you just go to the ORAN white papers. Okay. So you just read the white papers of the Oran Alliance. So you can download a lot of white papers here. Okay. This will also helps you becomes sharp in discussing about Open RAN. And if you already have some idea about wireless telecommunication, it can really help you, getting more knowledge about Open RAN. And in terms of now, if you want to check some applications or testings or plug fest that has been completed, you can go to virtual exhibition. No, it's just like going into a convention. No, it's a digital convention. Just like imagine yourself in the Mobile World Congress, but it's a mobile. No? It's a virtual exhibition. So you can see some Open RAN demonstrations. Okay, so you can see here the practical. No, if you're very tired of concept, reading some concept, and you want to see actual applications or actual setup of Open RAN, so you will see here. No? So for example, if we go for Open White Box, okay, you can check the Open White Box. Okay, so you can visit actually different booth, virtual booth. Okay, so if you go for Open White Box, so you can see the ASGOM, for example, this one, ASGOM 5G. So you can see how they do the setup, and then there are videos on this one. So it's just watching some presentations from different players in Open RAN system. Okay. So you can also see some setup. So you will not be anymore do you call this a spectator, no? So you can have more ideas on how they implement Open RAN, and then what is the typical setup of an Open RAN system. So like this, no, you can see there are emulators here, and then meron silang radios, okay, and then these are the different test setups, no. Ayan. So ganito nila sinesetup yung ano. So I encourage you to browse this website because it's a powerful website, no. And everything that you need to learn about Open RAN actually is already here, no. Yeah. And you can also find different companies that might impact your career in the future. Okay? Yeah, so that is the that is the Oran Alliance. Okay? Now if you look at the Oran Alliance Oran Alliance architecture, so this is the architecture of Oran Alliance. So you can also see this in the architecture of Oran Alliance. So you have this RAN intelligent controller, the SMO, okay? It's more on conceptual or logical connections then. So you have the real-time RIC, the OCU and the OCP, okay, the DU, the distributed unit, the ORU, and the OCloud. This is just to show you the interconnection and what are the interfaces. What I want you to remember in this architecture is that if you will see these connections, this legend, the 3GPP interface, they have retained the 3GPP interface. So meaning we are using the same 3GPP standards using the Open RAN. Okay, what interfaces that are new here are the ORAN interfaces because these are the new logical or components of the ORAN architecture. That's why meron tayong bagong ORAN interfaces. Okay? Ayan. And then the Oran Alliance, of course, they are setting up the stage for development of different solutions. So if you will see the use cases of Oran Alliance, they have divided it into two, the phase 1 and the phase 2. So for phase 1, so they have prioritized the low cost RAN or white box hardware. So meaning these are the specifications or use cases to be used if you are producing a DU or a radio unit. Okay. So for phase 1, if you will see the traffic steering, QoS optimization, massive MIMO optimization, and QoS based resource optimization. So most of these use cases are about things that are standard already. So these are the applications or features that are being used now in the current setup of a traditional network. Okay. The only thing that is needed added here is the white box hardware because these are now open general purpose hardware. Okay. But the traffic steering, quality of service, quality of experience optimization, and massive MIMO, you can encounter it in the current legacy system, no? Yung mga current na natin, mga system natin like 4G and 5G. And those are because this phase 1 are very important because they relate to the most of the situations na ginagamit natin in the current network. Okay? Now under the phase 2, you can see the run sharing, run slice service level assurance, context-based dynamic handover management for V2X, flight path-based dynamic UAV resource allocation, and then the radio resource allocation for UAV applications. So you can see here sa phase 2 naman, it's about specialized applications like slicing, run sharing, and unmanned aerial vehicle like yung mga drone applications. Okay, so you can search the web again so for different research na ginagawa sa US and other countries about the drone applications. Now they are looking at this use case and then that is possible also when we use Open RAN, no? As a wireless connectivity for those unmanned aerial vehicles. And especially for the V2X, yung vehicle to everything. That is the autonomous driving, no? Or autonomous vehicle. So it needs specific requirements, no? And for some networks, they serve specific or rare types of applications. So these are the different use cases, no, na ginagawa sa sa ORAN Alliance. Now let's go back dun sa ating sa ORAN Alliance natin. So punta tayo dito and then let's look at the OTIC, no? Who is OTIC, no? Nasaan ba si OTIC? Okay. Okay. So, nabanggit natin kanina, we have Plugfest and Proof of Concepts. So, these are the programs that is being promoted by ORAN Alliance and Telecom Info Project, no? So, yung mga ORAN Plugfest, ito yung mga events, no, that is being organized by the ORAN Alliance para nga magkita-kita sila and then test their equipment, their software, if they're working or interoperable to each other. And then another one is the Open Testing and Integration Center, like OTIC. Okay. So the OTIC is it provides collaborative, open, and impartial working environment for testing, integration, and ORAN functionality. Now, if you look at the OTIC, okay, ang ginagawa ng OTIC, they are centers that provide yung mga certificates. Okay. Mga certificates of like ORAN certificate. Yan. So, they verify yung product if compliant ito sa ORAN specifications. Okay? So, something like ano ba tawag dito? Parang DTI. Like that. And then, they also issue a ORAN interoperability badge. Okay? So, if your system and another system are interoperable, so they will release you a badge. Okay, so that when operator wants to use your system, so they are secure that, oh, okay, so these two are interoperable. And then if you have an end-to-end solution, so you will get an end-to-end badge that is tested by the ORAN Alliance. Ayan. So ito yung ginagawa ng ng ORAN Alliance. So OTICs are located in different parts of the world, no? So meron tayong European, okay, OTICs, meron tayong Asian. So dito sa Asia, sa Japan, sa Singapore, and then sa Taiwan nga, no? And then sa US is medyo marami silang OTIC. Okay? So andyan sa North America, Okay, and then sa Salt Lake City, no? Okay, so I'll show you one kind of OTIC, no, na pinuntahan namin sa US. Hold on, let me just check kung nandito pa sila. Okay. So this is a typical OTIC na pinunta namin sa Northeastern University, no. So it's a Open 6G ORAN Testing and Integration Center. Okay, so they are already looking at the 6G dito technology, no. Yeah. So that's why when they mentioned that 6G will be sitting on top of Open RAN, so because they're testing it already, no. So Open 6G OTIC ang tawag nila diyan. Okay? So it's also a 6G innovation ecosystem. So malaking lugar 'yan, ano? Malaking system 'yan. It's a university, no? And also testing center. So if you look at the different ito yung kanilang test bed and platforms. Meron silang tinatawag na Coliseum. So ganyan kalalaki yung mga servers nila. And then they also have the arena. So ito yung area where you have a lot of antenna system sa taas. And then they are all programmable and then for research purposes din. And they also have this evaluation and validation for 5G. Yan. So ganito kalalaki yung mga servers nila. Yan. Okay. And then one interesting also, they are also doing the terahertz frequency that covers 120 gigahertz to 40 gigahertz up to 1.1 terahertz. So you can see that there are already studies also, no, using Open RAN and then for 6G and the terahertz frequency. And then, malaki yung kanilang anechoic chamber. The anechoic chamber that they have is a 50 feet by 50 feet by 20 feet. By 20 22 feet. So, ganito kalaki yung nila, anechoic chamber. Okay? Where you can fly a drone. Okay? Because this is also used for outdoor unmanned aerial system test range. So, meron yung parang net dyan. Hindi yung golf course, no? It's not a golf course. It's a test range for drone. Yeah, so they are testing if what will happen if yung drone is nawala ng signal. Okay? What will happen if may dalawang drone with different frequencies interfering with each other. Okay? So they are testing. So before deploying it to in commercial and offering it to operators. Okay? And they're using Open RAN here. Okay, yun ang kagandahan dyan. So they're also using Open RAN system here. Okay, so this is isa sa mga pinuntahan namin sa Northeastern University. And one of the interesting research facilities that is in Massachusetts. Massachusetts, sa US. Okay? Yep, so yun yung ating yun yung mga ganap sa around the globe about Open RAN. And then if you hear that in the Philippines it's not yet time for Open RAN. Maybe it's not yet time for the Philippines because operators are still weighing the pros and cons. But if you see it happening already in different parts of the world, it might happen also in the Philippines, no? So there's nothing wrong if you will study it with us, together with us, right? Because at the end of the day, you will be the one who will be benefiting it, okay, using the Open RAN knowledge. And we never know, no, when it will come. Probably the third operator will go for Open RAN, just like what happened in Japan. Rakuten was a new operator back then, and then they were greenfield operator, and then they decided to go Open RAN. Dish is another operator in US. They are also greenfield, and then they decided to go Open RAN. Now, if you hear a new operator that is coming here in the Philippines, probably they might use an Open RAN system, right? So it's better to be prepared than to do nothing at all. Okay?